Am I eating enough, or are you eating enough? Question I never thought I'd ask myself a year ago when I was best bit of 20 stone. But before I look at that, let's have a look at how week 33 is looking. My weight loss for last week was £3, which is not, you'd think was quite good, but it was after a week of a really close, a tight calorie deficit. So I'm not moaning about it. I think, the last time I had a week this hard, I lost £8, and that was the first week of this journey. So, yep, that's a result. And that was on the back of a weekly average of 1,350, I think it was. If you look at last week's video, it'll tell you. The reason I'm asking, are we eating enough, is, as I've said all the way through this, my target is about 1,200. Now, I have a reason for that, in that MyFitnessPal recommends 1,900, and I think if I set a target of 1,200 and allow myself a bit of leeway, I won't be that bad. But the main thing for me is I try to eat 3 reasonable meals. Now, since I've been posting more on TikTok and Facebook and all that, I'm getting comments like, "What are you, a child? That's not enough," etc, etc. And maybe they're right, but 33 weeks, that's 7 and a bit months, and I'm feeling fantastic. But I also haven't really eaten 1,200 a day. I've targeted 1,200 a day, but quite often the average is closer to 14. Now, if you go on a TDE calculator, it says my maintenance calories should be about 2,400. MyFitnessPal recommends 1,900. My experience, which you've got to take into account, knows that I would not have lost weight very quickly on 1,900, which is why I've stayed around about the 12. I'm happy with that. Haters gonna hate. But you do need to ask yourself, are you actually eating enough? But more importantly, you have to ask yourself, are you eating right? And I think I am. You've seen the meals I'm eating. You've seen the evening meals. Most of them have been under 600 calories. In fact, I'm going to flash up the last 7 days worth now, just so you can see that I am actually eating food. It's only going to be the evening meal, but my lunches and my breakfasts are all there. I'm eating 3 times a day. So I'm going to do another video, which hopefully will be live by the time this gets released, which will explain why I think 1,200 calories is enough. Obviously that might be controversial for some, but this is all about making your own weight loss plan. It's not about following my weight loss plan, anybody else's weight loss plan, God forbid, Slimming World's weight loss plan. It's about your weight loss plan, and this has worked for me. It's blatantly obvious I have lost some weight. Right, so as the week's gone on, I have given it some thought, and MyFitnessPal reckons I'm on 1,900 to lose weight. So maybe my target daily is a tiny bit on the low side. I've looked at the TDE, and it does say that I should be on 2,200 to maintain. So a 500 deficit below that would be about 1,700, which is optimal for weight loss of £1 or so a week. MyFitnessPal has predicted me at 19 to lose a little bit of weight per week. So maybe I am going low. So this week I've come in on a calorie deficit of 2,732. Now that, as I've said, is the difference between my target of 1,200 and the MyFitnessPal figure of 1,900. So for next week, I'm going to consider where I quote my calorie deficit from. However, you've seen the meals. I'm happy with what I'm eating. I'm also getting closer to where I think my target should be, so I may reevaluate things from there onwards. But as I'm trying to explain in my other videos, it's not about following my plan. It's about writing your own plan. You don't need to follow anyone else's plan, and you sure as hell don't need to give anyone any money. For example, Slimming World, all of these academies online, the Cambridge plan, and all the other, I won't say charlatans, because they do work, because they do put people in a calorie deficit. But do they put people in a calorie deficit that's appropriate to them? Right, I've been doing this for 34 weeks now, and I think my method is appropriate to me. It may not be to you. I hate to admit it, but I am getting older. So at that point, maybe my calorie intake isn't as high as someone who's in their 30s should be. But I'm feeling great. I'm holding down long hours at work, and I am going to think about maybe increasing my calories going forward. But at the moment, 3 square meals a day, and we'll see where it takes me. As always, thanks for watching. I'm happy with that. I hope you are too.